I have loaded a website into a client's site, into a client's system, and am going to show you how to edit the different pieces of that website so that you can make it your own. So this is from a template in the system, and I have made some adjustments to it. And let me show you what some of those are so that you can go through and create and do some of the same things. So if we've created a website for you, you can make some of these changes for yourself as well. So when you are in the site, when you load it, this is basically your editing screen. So everything runs in rows and then nested rows and columns. So when you're highlighting on the most outside piece, the green is your biggest piece. Okay, so that is your biggest row. Then, and that's your biggest section. Then you come in and you'll get to a blue box. And this one, there it is. So there's two blue boxes in this one, and these are the actual rows. Within these rows, when you're adding them, you can add them to be multiple column sizes. So this one is a 1 column size, whereas this one you can see is a 3 column size. Now the columns are going to be shown in the purple boxes. So you'll be able to see these in here. So maybe if you're looking to make some of these have the actual columns have colors, you can do changes in here. Additionally, the actual assets and pieces, the actual, elements are in orange. So these are the ones you're going to be working in most often, but you will need to be working within the purples, the blues, and the green as well. So for example, in this green one, when we have the green highlighted, you can see that we can change the margin and the padding. And what that does is that kind of changes the size and shapes of things within the system and adds spacing or takes spacing away. We can change the background color from this green to maybe we want to make it yellow, which is a terrible color. So I'm going to go back to the gray. You can say whether it's sticky or not. You can add a background image or a background video, and you can do different things in here. Then when you're dealing with the rows, so that's the dark blue, you can do the same thing. Maybe you want the row, and see how easy it is to move around these things. It's kind of difficult. You can make this blue area, you can change the background color just for that. So you can have that have a specific background color. The same with the orange and the purple. Every one of them has their own background color. When you're dealing with the elements, like this is the actual navigation menu. So this one, you can actually start making some changes. So maybe you want these to be left facing or center facing. This is where you can actually change what your menu names are. So when maybe you don't want it to say about, maybe you want it to say, something else. Maybe it's a services page, not an about page. So this is where you can actually change what your menu looks like. You can change your font size in here. So instead of 14, it can be 19, and do all of those things. Additionally, you can take these columns, for example, and you can make them a little tiny bit bigger or smaller based on what you want to do so that you don't have the overlap happening. So you can come in here and anything that you want to play with in these areas. So you notice we're listed on the first column. So you want to make sure that you're highlighted on the areas that you want to move and change. So this is where you can change the colors. You can change some spacing in here. You can add a logo in this area if you want. But based on what I was working with, the logo wasn't good here. So again, this is kind of how you can come in and play with these things. So there is a background image in here. So you can see that the background media is image. And now you can actually come in, click on this, and you can find an image and have that in the background. Then you would have your different areas that sit on top of it, and you can start making changes to the actual text and buttons and whatnot throughout here. So if this one is a button on here. So buttons are always a little bit more interesting. You really have to scroll through the entire area to make sure that you get all of your functionality of a button. So for example, we're at the very top. This is where you can change the color. You can change your letter spacing and your font size. Then you start looking at, the different fonts that you can have. Do you want the button to be more to the right? Do you want it to be to the left? Do you want it to be in the center? What color do you want your font to be? The padding I mentioned earlier. So if you wanted to add a little bit more padding, we can make that there. So that adds padding to the button itself. So that's not quite what we wanted it to do. If you want more spacing between the button and the more successful, you would add margin. So let's do 40 just to show a big change. So there's for that one. Then you want to change your text options. Maybe you don't want it to say make an appointment. So you can change your text in here, and you can even add your subtext in here as well. Then what do you want that button to do? Where do you want it to go? Do you want it to go to a different page? Do you want it to scroll down into the page? Do you want it to go to a different URL? Where do you want that button to go? So this is where you would then decide where that would go. As you notice here, so we've got 4 columns. So you'll end up seeing that you've got these purples here. So you've got 4 of those. You've got different elements happening in here. So here's where you can come in and really start playing with things. So I have left some information in here that was already pre-built. Things can be changed and updated, but this was just kind of give a template to start inputting some information, to start adding the content, and then we can start playing and making better from here. So if you have any questions about any of these pieces, please let me know, and I am looking forward to helping.